like the typical, I feel like argument is that men have to sacrifice so much, like buy women all these things, do this and that, and like girls don't have to do anything. But I don't know like
Well,
how
there's a
that.
sta well, there's a standard for men within a relationship that women don't have. Men's standard within relationships is marriage duties. A man within a relationship is expected to be chivalrous. A man within a relationship is expected to provide as well as to protect. Meanwhile, men ask for things such as femininity, but those things don't get unlocked until, you put ring on finger,
Right, right.
right? And then you get established with an idea of conditional femininity, which, is bullshit at the end of the day, because I don't think that femininity is necessarily an on and an off switch. I think it's a component or a proponent of who you are as a person. For example, a man can expect not to be masculine and be respected, but a woman can be masculine and in our society today gets respected. I think that that's a problem. Will you
Okay,
identify as a masculine woman or a feminine woman?
I would like to identify as a feminine
Would
woman.
you like to see? But see, I can't say I would like to identify as a
Wait,
masculine
wait,
man.
wait. But I think a lot of things, I
No, no,
think,
no. Wait, hold on, hold up.
okay.
Just hear that last sentence. You said I would think that I would like to identify. Hold on. Let me finish the sentence. I would think that I would like to identify as a feminine woman. How would you expect me as a man to communicate to you is that I think that I would like to identify as a masculine man?
Because I would look at identity. I'm like, as a woman, I think femininity is bound in a woman, but
How is it bound if you just think that you identify as that? It's not
because the whole
bound.
identity thing, like people's identity can be very arbitrary, and it can, like a lot of times how people are perceived is not how they actually are or how they view themselves. So that was.
But I asked you, what do
Mhm.
you identify as? I'm not asking how other people
Okay,
perceive
so
you,
I do
and you
identify.
weren't clear.
Well, I'm saying now I am clear, but
Okay.
I was just like addressing the uncertainty that can come from perception and a perception of what femininity and masculinity is. A lot of that can be misunderstood.
This is a very confusing conversation already. You
I
see
don't
what I'm
think.
saying? It's
I mean,
very confusing. Actually, a very simple question, and now we're kind of just going in and around a space of lack of clarity. I'm trying to be, and maybe this is just the way that men have communication versus the way that women have communication. But I think that I asked you a very direct question.
but I answered it after.
I'm sorry?
I did answer it. I said, yeah, I do identify as a feminine woman, but
Okay.
but but it's because of my concept of womanhood is also like femininity is encapsulated in womanhood. That's how I look at things. Even
Okay.
though I do think men can have feminine traits and women can have masculine traits, I don't think it's like
Sure.
attractive in the other sex to
I'm
have.
with you. So anyway, so you asked me, what does it mean that men are no longer settling? And I think I've given you a lot of different information as to why men are beginning to wake up. And I think that the strength of the platform, not even just my platform, there's a bunch of other men that have platforms as well, demonstrate men understanding that a lot of the information that they've heard before, whether it be from their mother, whether it be from social media, whether it be from syndicated media, whether it be from music, a lot of that stuff has not taught them the correct things in order to deal and um, manage women, and also in understanding what is their actual value.
Right,
So, so those are the things that I've been talking about in the stream, and I think it was actually pretty decent to catch up with you here because there's probably some people that's down in here that don't really understand what's going on. But I do think that the pendulum is shifting, right? We've gone through decades of feminism, which has promoted women as being a victim in not a patriarchy, a true patriarchy. It's not a patriarchy in America. It's egalitarian. I'm sorry?
it's not. I don't think it is either.
Okay.
But
And oh, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm listening.
no, but
I
I
heard a
think
but. I'm gonna listen.
there's a culture that has caused a void between the male and female relationship
Okay.
because it's like, okay, there's like an idea that guys have when they're probably like in their 20s or in their teens to like kind of like conquer many women. And
Okay.
I like living in New York, I don't meet a lot of guys that are like very straightforward, head on their shoulders, know what they want. Like a lot of guys are bad confused out here. So even though they may
That's
listen
true.
to things that will kind of like want to red pill them or wake them up or get them on some sort of masculine identity direction, they don't have like the willpower within themselves because of like the weaknesses of society to actually do that. And it like deters women, and women feel like
I
they
don't
have
think it's, you think it's a weakness of society? I think it's
no, like they're like weak triggers in society. Like, oh my God, social media.
women.
Yeah, yeah. But it's also
Y'all.
what men promote that they want in women too. So like it's a psychological thing because like I'm a Christian, and like in scripture it says like women
Hmm.
are the weaker vessel, right? I don't think
Hmm.
people will really like understand what that means. Like there's a lot of ebb and flow in a male female relationship. I think men put a lot of responsibility on women and not enough on themselves as leaders, as men. So I don't know. Like there's a very like symbiotic relationship between men and women.
So your last statement, you said men don't put enough, say it again.
Like responsibility on themselves as leaders. Like I
Can,
was saying,
can, can,
because
can you give me an example?
well, like in reference in the confused men of New York City, like they're just like waiting for girls. Like they kind of wait for girls to take the like leadership role, basically. Like a lot
Yeah,
of guys
but
are passive.
when you say leadership role,
Like
like
to
what does
decide,
that mean exactly?
to be decisive, like in general. Like for example.
So there's so men, the men that you date in New York don't make decisions.
Well, the guys that I come into contact with, I'm not saying I date
Why are
them.
you dating men that don't make decisions?
I'm not saying I date them. These are from experiences
So
I've
who
had.
are they then?
People will tell me these are people's like significant others, people's husbands. Like,
Why are you concerning yourself with women that are dating non-masculine men?
I mean, listen, you don't honestly like know if a guy is like, some people may be coming off like, yeah, I'm masculine, or I know what I want. And it's like, they be confused like 5 years later. They be
Listen,
like,
I'm not gonna lie to you and say like, there's not men out there that need some coaching, right? But that also what you're talking about is exactly what I'm talking about in the idea that men come into these spaces unclear on a lot of different things, and then they look at the content and they're like, oh, that's why that went astray. That's why that went awry. So I don't think that we necessarily disagree. But what I'm saying is that after they do the research, they do the homework, they understand kind of what's going on and at least have a general sense. Then if they go on a path in order to increase their usefulness or the utility, you're not settling. You're not
right.
settling. Because so here's the thing. How about this be a particular equation? The top, what is it? Five, I think it's like the top 8% of minority men make $100,000 a year or more. And clearly, most women date up from a hypergamous perspective, right? You want security, you want provision, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't hate on women, right? I think hypergamy is actually needed. It actually pushes societies forward
Hmm.
because it causes men to always want to be at the top so they can get the best women, the best selection. It pushes societies forward. But within this idea of top 8%, the top 8% dudes still encounter the bullshit, the women within that, complete and utter. Because my thing is like if you a top 8% dude, you should get a top 8% lady. I mean, that math seems to work out. And
But
what are
okay,
guys looking for? One of the biggest things is from a visual perspective.
but what is like a top 8% female?
From a visual perspective. So what is that? I don't know, a 9.2
Yo,
and
so okay,
above?
wait. So guys be judging women based off their looks, like in terms of the percent.
Yeah.
Oh my
No,
gosh.
not percent, but we will
No,
rate on a scale of 1 to 10. But y'all got checklists.
no, but like you just said, like okay, the you were talking about earning and the top whatever percentile, and then it went to like that's how like with the woman
Women look at men as success objects. Men
and
look at women like sex objects.
wow,
What's up?
it's so hard. It's so hard to grasp this. I don't know.
Listen, you know why it's hard? And how old are you?
How old do I look?
25?
I'm turning 25 this year.
Okay. 24-year-old. So 24 years of understanding how men think from not men.
Okay, but like I have a like my dad, I don't think he's that shallow. Like, I
What you
mean,
mean? So, we're not gonna do that.
wait,
We're not gonna call a man's preferences shallow.
wait. I'm not. No, no, no. I'm saying
You, you said he's not that shallow.
I said I don't think. So I'm not saying he's not a like, but it's like okay, is attraction just the only thing that's gonna like have a man in a relationship?
No, I didn't say it was the only thing. It's one
Oh,
of the major components.
um,
But why does level of attraction? Why see? And that's the bullshit. That's
what's the
that's the
boo?
bullshit.
What do you
That's the
mean?
bullshit.
What you
Why
mean?
is a man's preference shallow?
It's not. I'm just saying, is that
You
as far
just
as
said
it
it
goes?
was.
Is it as far as it goes in terms of settling and being with someone and choosing a partner? Like, is that really as far as it goes?
But I said earlier that it's not just about just the level of attraction. It's one of the biggest things.
Okay, so like
But
what percentage
wait,
of it?
hold on. We're not just hold up. You specifically,
Mhm.
there's a couple of times in this conversation you try to walk your way up out of a situation, but let's focus up in on this one because I think it's important. How is a man shallow for looking at a woman's level of attractiveness, and a woman is not shallow for looking at his bank account?
I didn't say you telling me I said that that doesn't make a woman shallow. I never touched on that. So I think both components are levels of shallowness because it's a surface level thing in regards to a person. Like I don't
Okay.
think a person is reduced to the money in their bank account or how they look. Like there's so much
Well,
more.
I never said it was all
I didn't
attractiveness.
say that, but I was just looking at the percentage, like at to what rate do guys like really are pressed by looks, you know? Like that's just where I was coming from.